No pyjama trousers?
No.
You hot?
Sweltering.
Oh, I'm not. Sitting on Bill's bed, waiting for him to use the pot. My feet are like ice. Oh, there.
It's terrific.
What?
I kissed you and you yawned.
Did I?
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, Bill. Only I'm dead. Bill's been a monkey all day, trampling chocolate mousse with a Spanish rope mat. Making monster noises all during Susan's animal program. It's our school holiday, in case you've forgotten.
No, it isn't only during school holidays. I don't much like admitting something's gone wrong with our sex life, but what else do you suggest? What about the way you undress in that dark corner? You put on your nightdress before you take your skirt off, and you won't let me help you either. All day you walk about with attractive clothes on. When we come up here, you won't let me...
No good. I find it very embarrassing having someone take my clothes off.
You used to like it.
No.
You did.
Just to pretend to.
You used to be more social about it all. A lot more smiling and chasing about in different rooms during the day. Why is it always in the dark nowadays? Do you hate the sight of me?
All that was before children.
What about when my mother has them for the day, or when Dad takes them to the zoo? How do we spend those valuable hours? In bed? Shopping.
How often do I deny you?
It's not a question
How
of...
often do I refuse you when you come to me saying how
It's
much...
not a question of how much
Isn't
or how...
it?
No, but of what it's like, when you seem to be suffering some nasty necessity that crops up every so often.
Well, think yourself lucky.
My husband's very good. He only troubles me twice a week.
You talk as though you're some pathetic lurker in a Mac forced to pick up tarts in doorways. He's a joke, really.
Well, Don't you understand, love? Well, I'm not complaining. I'm apologizing for not knowing how to keep our marriage fresh and surprising. I'm not very experienced. Perhaps I ought to pick up tarts in doorways.
Do you want to?
I don't want to. I think perhaps I ought to.
And what do you hope to learn?
No, I don't know. They're doing it all day.
How do you know your sessions with the tart won't be enough? All you want?
That worry you?
I don't want you going with tarts. I'm happy with my sex life as it is. I don't happen to like electric lights in my eyes last thing at night, and you have put on a bit of weight.
Let's try a different way, then.
And I'm sorry. If you want me to dress as a nurse or a nun, I'm afraid I couldn't keep a straight face.
When we first married, we didn't need any frills. We excited each other so much.
We only had ourselves to think of.
Before the boredom set in.
Oh, I'm not bored. I'm dead. You know, when I sing Bill a lullaby, it's me that falls asleep. And what if I'm pregnant? What if it's about to start all over again? You do remember I'm going to the doctor tomorrow for the test results? You do know I'm late.
Hey, you lost the pills.
I forgot them. Then couldn't find them. 3 days. Sure to be all right.
Well, if you are, the damage is done. If you're not, we must continue to place our faith in the drug manufacturers. Oh. Still as you wish.
Hello, dearie.
What?
You want to have a nice time?
What's that?
Like the tart in the doorway.
You would know where to start.
You think so?
Oh, hell! It's dynamite. Hello? Mom? Yes, we are, as a matter of fact. It's all right. Oh, where is he? I'll be over as soon as I can. You've called the doctor? Good. Nothing else, no. I shan't be long. Bye. Dad's collapsed.
Where was she phoning from?
For the neighbours.
Let me know what happens.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Bob?
Hello, Mum.
I walked right from the house without seeing him.
What is he?
In there. I'd been to the West Drive with Mr. and Mrs. Fowler. And they dropped me off at the gate. And I asked them in for a cup of tea, but they said no, they'd better get on back. Well, you know the way your father tries to pull Mr. Fowler's leg. And I don't believe he's ever really liked it. So they wouldn't come in for a cup of tea. Well, I tapped on the glass, but he didn't come. So I thought he didn't hear me because he got the gramophone on. Linda next door, she dialed the doctor. I spoke to his wife. She said he was out on a call, but she expected him back any minute, and that must have been, 25 minutes ago.
Don't suppose we should move him or anything?
Oh, no. Not until the doctor's seen him, I don't think. What do you think?
No.
He seems comfortable enough.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps a cushion under his
No.
head.
You said the gramophone was on?
Yes. There's the doctor now.
I couldn't get here before. Now, where is he?
In there.
Oh, hello, Mr.
Hello, Doctor.
Goodliffe. You found him like this, Mrs.
Yes, the funny thing is, I didn't see him straight away. I couldn't make him hear by tapping on the door, so I thought he must be out the back. So I went right through to the kitchen. I found the milk all boiled over, what he must have put on for his bedtime drink. And when I came back in here, there he was, just lying there.
There was a record still playing. When did it stop?
Oh, I don't know. I know it was playing when I came in.
It switched itself off, but the radiogram was still on.
Have you got a small hand mirror?
Oh, yes. Mind you.
Well, you can't have collapsed long before. 12-inch LP takes 20 minutes to play.
There we are.
Thank you. I'm afraid he's gone.
I thought he was.
He can't have known much about it. Much the best way.
Oh, yes, it's what he would have wanted himself. Oh, dear.
How old was he?
72.
Well,
73 in August.
not a bad innings when you look at it. Now, he hasn't been in to see me for some weeks, so there'll have to be a coroner's post-mortem.
Oh, no.
A legal formality, nothing more, when somebody passes over unexpectedly.
He had some pains over the weekend in his chest.
Angina.
Yes, I said, shall I fetch the doctor? He said no, not to disturb him on a Sunday.
Perhaps it's best. I might have prolonged his life for a time, but...
Oh, no. This is how he would have wanted to go. Rather than drag on. Burden to everyone.
What shall I do now?
I'll notify the coroner in the morning. They'll be along sometime tomorrow to take him away. After the examination, you can pick up the certificate from the coroner's office. Where's your place of business, Mr...
City architect.
Well, that's only next door, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the meantime, have you ever made arrangements with an undertaker?
Now, my mother wanted to know if you'd like a cup of tea.
Oh, I shan't say no, sir, if there's a cup being made.
And what about your friend?
Mr. Morley won't say no, sir, either. Oh, and, sir.
Yes.
Could you step in for a moment, please? The contents of the pockets, sir. His wallet, sir. A quantity of silver and copper coins, sundry keys on the ring, handkerchief. Oh, his outer clothes, sir. We usually leave the underwear on, though you may have it returned to you later on, should you so wish. More often than not, of course, it's soiled, so you may give us permission to destroy it.
Yeah, fine. We shan't be wanting it, I'm sure.
Beautiful cup of tea, this.
I should think you need it.
I always say at a time like this, that's all you can do, really and truly. Drink tea.
Want another?
No, thanks.
Dad never used to have tea, you know, going to bed. Always had a milky drink. Said tea kept him awake.
He was a well-built man.
Oh.
Always walked like a sergeant major with his shoulders back.
My very words to Mr. Morley. Military bearing. I said he had a military bearing. Late 70s, was he?
72.
Very well preserved.
Very athletic, you see.
Kept him young.
Cycling, football, rowing.
Preserved him. Oh, well. This won't get the work done. Thank you, madam. And you'll be here at 9:30 or thereabouts to let in the coroner's office.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Fracture case?
It's there.
Better get home then. Jean's expecting us.
Oh, I'll just wash up the tea thing.
No, I'll clear up in the morning. All right?
Oh, is it still warm out?
Sweltering.
Till it might turn. I think I'll wear my coat. Safe carrying it. I can ring Tony from your place, can't I?
Yes.
He'll want to make arrangements to come to the funeral. He and Dad were very close.
She's not too bad. She had a little cry in the kitchen.
She had a little one as we were leaving 53. Another little one on the phone to turn, yeah?
Sure you don't begrudge her a few tears.
It's a shame she didn't shed them sooner. They're no use to the old man now.
I think it's only right to be able to cry a bit. Even crocodile tears are better than nothing.
You think so?
Yes.
Why?
He'd like to feel mourned.
He doesn't exist anymore. He's out of the question. What I'd mourn would be his lack of achievement. In 17 years and nothing to show for it.
You and Tony?
Well, that's all family. His entire energy devoted to his wife and sons. I know the family life. And as an idea, net curtains, privet hedges, and the sound of slamming bedroom doors. If all the energy lost in domestic friction could be canonized, we'd solve the traffic problem in a week.
What if I die first? Is that all you feel?
That's different. We chose each other.
Well, she chose your father, presumably. Then shouldn't she cry?
And what I meant was we don't choose our parents. We can't feel the same for them.
But I'll cry when my mother dies.
You are very close. Perhaps because your father left her.
Well, don't you expect your children to cry at your death?
Why should I want them to? I shan't be here to see it. I shouldn't enjoy it if I could. He loved it.
Oh, no. That's all you think about.
All right then, Eric. Yes, if you give me a ring here at Robert's place, I'll let you know for certain what time the funeral's leaving.
I shan't be long. Keep an eye on the children. They're in the garden.
All right. Bye-bye. No, Eric. I said bye-bye, Jean. She's just off out.
It is essential to inform the coroner if you want cremation rather than burial, so that he may issue a certificate for cremation, which is free of charge, and obviates the use of forms B and C. Form F is signed by the medical referee of the crematorium, the medical evidence of forms B and C or H. Or, in the case of a post-mortem, after the issue of the certificate for cremation. Why didn't you go to sleep? No need to wait for me.
You wake up when you climbed in.
Well, we could always get twin beds. Hill up. Separate beds. How's Mum been?
Busy telephoning her relations with the news. Tony's coming Thursday morning. He has a programme Wednesday night.
I suppose London will somehow manage to survive without him for a few hours.
Good, she's kept busy.
Yes. I saw the body off, and I went to the office to find a blazing row going on about who'd leaked the ring road proposals to the local press. Well, I say a blazing row, it was more a puff of smoke. And I couldn't dodge this evening's action group because I'm the prime mover. The Civic Society bloke was there.
She was very helpful at bath time.
We think the Fine Arts Commission will be on our side. We're getting in with some funny company.
Looked after the children when I was out.
Good. Probably gave us something to occupy our minds, too, I expect. Where'd you go? Shopping?
No, I went to the doctor.
Doctor, what about? Oh, Christ. Oh, love, I'm sorry. What did he say?
He said, yes, positive, I'm pregnant.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
And that's what you want, is it? I mean, the doctor thinks you'll be all right.
Of course I'll be all right. I'm only 33.
Just as Bill's about to start at the Montessori.
I know.
It's all that again.
Third child means a second family allowance.
Well, so much for the pill.
Well, Miss 3. They were in that duffel bag in the back of the van.
Look, you know the money we've been saving for the car? Well, perhaps if you felt you couldn't face it, well, perhaps we could use it for a nursing home.
I didn't want to be pregnant. But now that I am, I suddenly feel I'm coming at the same time as your father's death. Very excited about it. I nearly sang coming home in the bus. I must have a touch of the tar brush. Why can't we wear masks, let off fireworks, dance in the street?
I don't feel like dancing.
You didn't feel like crying at your father's death?
The undertaker said all you can do at a time like this is drink tea. Bothers me sometimes. I don't feel much. I can't pretend an emotion that I don't feel.
Never tried. But perhaps you never feel because you never tried to feel.
I feel for you.
That's greed.
Tony will show us how to feel. He's an expert.
Closes in on me as soon as I reach this station. Hello, Bob.
Hello? Hello?
Do you want a porter?
No, I'm being met.
Bye-bye, then.
I shall watch you on the screen with a new interest.
Bless you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Thought you brought a friend.
Christ, no.
I made the mistake of smiling at her, and it turned out she knew me from the telly. Never stopped talking my head off. That serves me right.
She's a smashing piece.
That's one of the problems about being on the box. People won't leave you alone.
Must be all. Sorry.
One day, on this station, I called a porter. Do you know who turned up?
Uncle Arthur.
Right. Talk about embarrassing.
He's retired now.
Now, I stared at this dominating figure of my childhood. He stared at me, picked up my case, carried it, talked about the family.
Couldn't have bothered him.
No?
Must have happened before.
To him, perhaps, but not to me. How's Jean?
Fine.
The kids?
She's expecting another.
No, it's terrific. But I don't know. Is it terrific? You tell me.
Oh, yes. Got to the stage of drooling over other people. It's come at just the right time.
Why didn't you let me know?
I know we didn't know ourselves until 2 days ago.
Talk about in the midst of life.
Yeah.
No, I still can't take it in. Mum's message came when I was halfway through a depth interview. I'm afraid the rest, was a total cock-up. How's she taken it? What? How's Mum taken the old man's death?
Oh, the funeral arrangements have kept her busy, so...
One justification for the funeral, it does take your mind off it.
I don't see much wrong in funerals. It's a way of showing you're sorry when someone's gone. Well, people show they're sorry when I'm gone.
Well, I'm sorry he's gone. I don't need to show it. After that interview was over, I sat in my dressing room and cried my bloody eyes out.
Hello, Jean. Good morning. I'm so sorry. I know you're friends with Mrs. Goodley.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Fowler.
We were at your wedding.
Of course.
We gave you the carpet sweeper.
Still going? Still going?
How good of you to come.
Are we the last?
No, there's the boys yet.
We'd have come sooner, but I wanted to get the flowers fresh.
He's just this moment picked them.
Aren't they beautiful?
Lovely.
While I was in the garden, I thought to myself, perhaps she'd like a few sticks of rhubarb.
Oh, Harry loved your rhubarb.
Well, I said, you can't take rhubarb to a funeral. And he said to me, Harry liked my rhubarb. And he said, I think Mary liked it too.
Oh, yes.
I said, I know Harry liked it, but I'm not sure whether Mary did. Anyway, I said, she might as well have it.
He said, life goes on regardless.
Jean, I think you better take this, dear. Now, won't you come and see the others?
Oh, yes.
I was only saying, there's one consolation. It's a beautiful time of the year for...
What have you got there?
Rhubarb.
For the buffet?
No, somebody bought it.
For the funeral?
For Mrs. Goodley.
What shall I do now? It's the boys.
Hello, Tara.
How are you, love?
Fine. I'm sorry about your father.
I know you are. You were fond of him.
Your mother's in the front room.
Tony.
Mum.
Oh. You got your train all right, then. He and Dad were very close, you know. They used to write each other these great long letters.
His in Victorian copper plate, mine in portable Olivetti. He never stopped complaining how ill-mannered it was to type personal correspondence.
Oh, he had some funny ways, but he was a very good father.
No, he was.
Oh, you didn't always see eye to eye, though, did you? I think it was because they were so much alike. Oh, Bob never used to quarrel. He used to go off his own way, but Tony and him, always at each other's throats. I think the eldest is bound to be the closest, really. And I think the father's bound to feel closer to him, too, because...
Mr. Fowler, how are you?
You do remember Mr. Fowler, don't you, dear, in confectionery?
I say you are looking well.
Oh, I thought he looked rather drawn.
Mrs. Fowler.
Same when we saw him last time.
I thought he was very suntanned.
Under the suntan.
Oh, I'd just done a filmed report from the Middle East.
We like your films. I say to Mrs. Fowler, switch it on. We might as well see young Tony pop his head round the screen.
I said, you sent a lovely bouquet.
Is it all right?
Well, according to my figures, there are 13 people between 2 cars.
Linda's stopping behind to do the food.
Even so, that leaves, say, 6 in the limousine at the most, and another 6 to squeeze into your mother's 1100, which really is only big enough for 4, and 5 at a pinch.
There's Mr. Fowler's.
Ah, Mr. Fowler's Humber. Completely slipped my mind. I was thinking we'd have to take a couple of aunties crouching in the back of the minivan.
Rob. Panic stations. The hearse is arriving.
The hearse seems to be arriving.
Right, thanks. Now, I'd better get Uncle Will, Cousin Eric, and a few of the aunties on the move.
No. It's driven by.
Driven by?
Another funeral in the street this morning, is it?
I don't know. I'd better go and chat after them.
No room to turn, see? They've gone to the roundabout, then come back facing the right direction.
Better get the troops spelling, Bob.
Right, yes. Now, the way I see it is chief mourners in the limousine. That's Mum, Uncle Will, Cousin Eric, Tony, and me, then in your mother's...
Stop organising.
This morning you told me to keep on my toes, make sure everyone was happy.
Can't arrive then, right?
Okay, Uncle Will, you're with Eric?
Let's get rid of it.
Phyllis, good. All right. There we are.
Fowler, have you met my cousin Una?
How do you do?
Pleased to meet you.
Vera Lambert, you know already.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm not getting any younger.
Oh, that's true.
My nephew Eric, Mrs. Fowler.
How do you do?
And that's Harry's brother Will going up the stairs there. Will?
Hello.
Mrs. Fowler.
Oh, hello. Uncle Lionel, someone, could you open the front door, please? Let someone out. Mr. Fowler, could you open the front door, do you think? Just let someone out.
I left my coat in here.
Yes. How are you, Jean?
Fine.
Happy?
Yes.
Good for you. Bob tells me you're...
I have to say hello to my favourite TV star.
You sending me up, Mrs. Long? How are you?
Where's your coat, Mother?
In the hall, dear, but I can't get to it. Saying that's a bouquet and a half you sent, Tony?
When my husband died, we had no flowers. He had it in his will. You can. I think a funeral's nothing without blooms. They leave such a nasty mess on the carpet.
Ours a terrible skimpy bunch considering what we paid.
Still, there you are. You don't much like to complain at a time like this.
It's what they rely on to make their exorbitant profits.
I don't believe in bringing anything live into the house. You never know.
Thank you, ladies. If you pass on out to the cars, please.
Frank?
Eric, Uncle Will, Mum, Tony, yeah. Aunt Phyllis, Jean, Una, yeah.
Wait a minute.
All right, good luck. Jean. I'm Mr. Fowler. Aunt Vera, Mrs. Fowler. Right? Everyone all right?
See the police have put no waiting signs on the road here?
I suppose the undertaker's fixed that.
No, it wasn't. I rang the police station last night. I said you can't have the hearse double parked. In for days.
Uncle Lionel.
I shall put the sausage rolls in about 11:30, Linda.
Right you are.
Just for a walk through. You sure you'll be all right?
You go on.
You know where everything is?
I can find it. You better go.
Yes, all right then.
And have a good...
If I hadn't seen that with my own eyes, I shouldn't have believed it.
Oh, it's absolutely typical.
Time and tide waits for no man.
Not these days, they don't.
No respect.
That's a rat race. Wait for for no one, kids, today.
Funny thing, I never cared that much for funerals, but recent years I seem to go all the time. There he goes. Now perhaps we can get a bit of a move on.
We may not have much money, but we do see light.
Hearses never go slow these days, not like they used to.
They'd hold up the traffic.
Mind you, with burial it's different. With cremation, they can't wait to get you out the way. When I buried my Jack out Fairview, the attendants walked the street, one to each pavement. Silk toppers and crepe bands, as much to say, look here, look here.
Funeral was a big thing then. I'm talking about the turn of the century. Only time our street saw carriages.
Well, things haven't changed that much. You still don't get many roses down your street, do you, Mum?
Only funerals and weddings.
Hasn't been that much of a social revolution.
Another thing in our street, Tony, when your dad and I were boys, was the urine woman.
The what?
The urine woman. She used to call round with a van loaded with vessels to collect the urine.
What for?
The local dye works. Apparently it was cheaper than ammonia.
I once did a pen and ink landscape study from this very spot. Do you remember, Auntie?
Did you, Eric? No, I can't.
Long time ago now. Coming back after all these years, I find this quite a sentimental journey.
These houses are a bit slummy, Murray.
Late Regency, aren't they? The porticos are typical.
They call it the jungle now.
These are a bit smarter.
That one there. See, Will? That's where I wanted to move when our neighborhood started going down.
Oh, I can't tell you the Sunday afternoons we spent standing in empty houses, arguing that's all.
Couldn't bear the sight of funerals going past.
That's where he was.
That's what he said.
Your mother and I stood and watched them for an hour, going slowly, coming back fast.
Harry.
That was an excuse. He was happy where he was. That was his trouble.
An important factor of the successful funeral is timing the arrival of the cortege at the place of interment or cremation. Many cemeteries and crematoria penalize latecomers by increasing or doubling their charges.
Wait till I open it.
Oh.
I could spend a week among these monuments without losing interest.
That's nice and cheerful.
And they represent a broad spectrum of the visual tastes of the 18th and 19th centuries.
That one reminds me of the Elephant House.
Superb location for a film.
I'd bulldoze the lot and make it into a children's park.
Look at the class distinction, carried to the grave. I mean, these lavish memorials here and down on the hill. The ordinary stones in serried ranks, just as they were in life.
Oh, come on.
What?
Well, let's be practical at least. You're not going to feel guilty about something that happened before I was born?
Nobody move. Nobody move until the chief mourners move.
Chief mourners first.
I am the resurrection and the life, saith the Lord. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he will stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin the worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another. We brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
You want a prayer book, Uncle?
Psalm 23.
I know the words of the 23rd Psalm.
The Lord is my shepherd, therefore
I shall not want. What's this?
He shall feed me in a green pasture, and
He leadeth me beside the silent waters. Those aren't the proper words.
He shall convert my soul, and bring me forth in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Amen.
Please sit down. The lesson is from the first epistle of Paul the Apostle to the Corinthians, chapter 15. Now is Christ risen from the dead. Trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be saved. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
Did you see that fella? One of the brothers. Image of the bloke that's on TV. What's his name? Yeah, on TV. Cox, Holloway. Goodliff, that's it. Tony Goodliff. Told you I knew.
Forasmuch as it hath pleased Almighty God with his great mercy to take unto himself the soul of our dear brother here departed, we therefore commit his body to be consumed by fire, in sure and certain hope of the resurrection to eternal life through our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall change our body of low estate, that it may be like unto his glorious body, according to the mighty working whereby he is able to subdue all things to himself.
Cremation begins with the coffin going to a committal room, the body remaining in the coffin. Each coffin is individually burnt in a cremator, the ashes being removed after about 90 minutes and reduced to a fine powder.
For they rest from their labours. Good day.
Good day. Thank you.
Good day.
I'd like to say how much I enjoy your programs.
Bless you.
Good day.
Goodbye.
Mr. Keys, the footwear.
Thank you.
And Mr. Britton.
Soft furniture.
Oh, yes, of course.
No, thank you. And Mr. Lang of Electrical Goods, representing our staff association, just paying our last respects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming. We'd better go. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Take care.
Thank you.
They weren't the proper words to the psalm.
That was the prayer book version, Uncle.
They're not the words that most people know.
No.
No, I'm sorry, but I think if the church agrees to recognize this man's death, they should at least do it with a decent ritual, not a lot of tatty machinery going on and off.
Well, why? You never went inside? But to listen to recitals and see the stained glass?
Then play some music. Where's the organist?
Well, the vicar only gets £1. The whole thing only costs 10. What do you expect, King's College Choir?
The man dies after 70 years.
Where'd you get these teaspoons? I couldn't find yours, so I had to run and borrow mine. Fancy making people think I haven't got my teaspoons. The apostles' spoons, Jean. In the sideboard. Mr. and Mrs. Fowler's wedding present. In the sideboard.
Auntie, I have to be phoning a taxi soon to the station.
You can phone from Linda's next door, dear, later on.
All right. After the eats.
Maury! I was sitting on the toilet.
Were you?
Thinking it was a good job Harry didn't pass away up there. You'd have had to upended the coffin to navigate that turn in the stairs.
No sound of the Fowler's car yet.
It was all I could do to keep up with the limousine on the way back.
And that service, talk about short but sweet.
Mr. Fowler and I'd hardly got our knees on the hassock when old Sandy MacPherson started up on the theatre organ again.
These days, people are having too much fun to dwell on death and old age. Don't blame them either. Give me the chance.
Excuse me, but in my young day, we didn't know that much about life, but we respected the dead, and who's to say we're the worse for it?
Mrs. Long, do you want a Scotch egg?
I'm supposed to be on a diet.
My husband and I reserved our plot the day we got married and never mentioned it again until the day he crossed over. But I know where he is, and I know we shall meet again out Fairview.
God forbid I should meet my old man again. When I left him at the divorce court, I said good riddance, and I never felt the lack of a husband since. Oh, Jean of a father, haven't you, Jean?
Oh, well, why don't you open the window, one of you boys? It's stifling in here.
Welcome,
Gracious me! All behind like the cow's tail.
Thought I'd take a shortcut, but the swing bridge was open.
Oh, dear.
But this friend I was telling you of, her husband died on the beach at Portofino in front of everyone. And you've no idea of the fuss and expense she had in transporting him home for burial.
Waste of money. I should want to be buried there.
Well, I've never been abroad. I hope I never shall. But if it happened to me, I should want to be brought home to lie with Jack. Excuse me.
If I should die, you think only this...
Cremation for me, no dirt and decay.
There is some corner of a foreign field that is forever England, eh, Tony?
I'll drink to that, Mrs. Long.
You know, you ought to do a program. Auntie Una and I, burial versus burning.
Bit too controversial for me, dear.
I see you brought your knitting with you, Phyllis.
One of the manifestations of my neurosis.
I've got a bit of that cake now, Maury.
God, those people. The giants of our childhood. Towering uncles, reeking of tobacco. Aunts and quasi-aunts, all talcum powder and plump white arms. Auntie Una, grim and upright, always avid for a death. I shall lie with my Jack out Fairview. And Cousin Eric, Osterley's Hugh Weldon, Mr. Fowler, spouting rhubarb from his fingertips, living reproach to Dad, who killed everything he touched. Even nowadays, when they've shrunk to nothing, I've only got to hear their voices and part of me becomes a child again. Been crying?
The funeral upset me. And after that, my mother. She said I'd never missed having a father, and of course she's got to pretend she doesn't feel the need of a man, and I know she does. To women alone, it's all wrong. Which is maybe why I was so fond of your dad.
I know. Well, he's gone now. And Vera Lambert's removing every trace.
Oh, she could hardly wait to get her hands on his muddle, tipping the dustman to cart it off. The clothes she's mostly given to Uncle Lan.
I wish to God I had time to go through it all. Might have found some clue to the man. Or some hint of my first 5 years, which are a total blank.
And I doubt there's anything but useless rubbish.
I might have caught a scent. I feel my answers are here. If only I had the time to look. My dreams take place here still. This room where Bob and I grew up. That mirror. I used to do my first acting. This bed, where I used to lie as a virgin, wondering what it was like. And where I found out. On a day very much like this, you were as bold as brass. Shall we go straight to bed, you said. And I followed you upstairs, shaking with fright. But there was nothing to be frightened of. It was all so easy. You kept whimpering with pleasure.
I'm sure I never made sounds.
And saying, please.
I don't remember.
Oh, gee.
But I remember, but not the details. It's a long time ago. 16 years.
I don't believe you. It was unforgettable.
I was your first, that's all. You were a late starter. Can't bear to think it was ordinary.
Half-inch quadrant. Nail and glue the half-inch quadrant. Say no thank you. 2.5 inches from the back of the shelf. 5/8 panel pins at 9, 12-inch intervals. Then you take a punch, thank you. Plastic filler. Yeah, and paint it all over. And your shelf is ready for use.
Is that chocolate cake? I'd like a bit of chocolate cake. No, I was saying, then what was I saying?
Saying about hyacinth.
Oh, yes. And then we'd have to troop back to the cemetery and put all those Bessie's pots out. And later on, old Gran, she'd hire a pony and drive right through the graveyard. I'd like a bit of that chocolate cake, Molly. And won't be tired of his boy that got tempted by the 4-ale bar, I tell you. Yes, I'd like a piece of that cake, yes.
Piece of this?
Yeah. Ciao. Ginger.
I want it back.
What?
Youth.
Can't.
I don't know. Here we are, in this room.
You didn't like me quite enough at the time. You left me for Tina Carpenter. 2 hours I waited outside the Central Library. Then when it began to rain, I went to the pictures, and you were sitting a few rows in front with Tina Carpenter. So I left again.
You know, I never knew you had seen me.
No, well, I never told you. But by the time you were after me again, I was going with Bob, and I suppose you only came back because you didn't get any joy with Tina Carpenter.
If I could start all over again, it would all be very different.
No, you're too ambitious. She lived in the Paragon. She went riding on the downs, for God's sake.
Born into the class we were. You're going to blame me for ambition? When I think of those people downstairs, I'm pretty glad I was ambitious. But it meant, you know, I took wrong turnings, and in the process of escaping, I somehow missed my youth.
You keep youth. Too much crying in the rain and hurting each other. Whatever life's like now, at least it's painless.
That could be boring.
Satisfying. No time for tears.
Doesn't sound like you. You're a passionate woman, like your mother. You have to steal away up here to cry.
Having children cools your passion.
I wouldn't know. But I believe we don't change our essential natures. Stifle them, thwart them, pervert them. But our natures survive. We were passionate lovers. And we still are. Or would be. Among other things I remember, we used to play lifts, going up and down in that wardrobe. Hello. I was just saying, we used to play lifts in here, and one day we tipped it over. Oh, you were only about 4 or 5. Mum and Vera Lambert were downstairs, and Vera, came and lifted the whole thing bodily, stood it up.
Mum was worried in case the glass was broken.
Anyone miss me?
Uncle Will. Just on my way for a peek.
Where's that young Jean? That well-developed young woman?
His voice is so like your father's.
I know. It keeps taking me unawares. I keep thinking, what's he doing here?
John, I thought as you're going back to London in a minute, we ought to talk about
not till this evening.
Huh? Well, anyway, while Mum's not around, we ought to talk about her and the old man's debts and the house. I mean, Jean and I will be looking after it all. You'd better be sure you approve.
Well, I'll pay his debts.
Okay.
But that goes without saying.
Well, I'll send on the outstanding bills. The secretary will know what it's all about, won't she?
I'll tell her.
One wants to sell the house.
I know.
So until we can find a flat, she can stay with us.
Is that okay?
What else do you suggest?
No. I'm sure that's what she wants. Are you happy, Jean?
Least we can do.
What she doesn't take of the furniture, we'll have auctioned. It won't fetch a lot.
All these redolent chairs and tables. The landscape of our childhood. Like the aunts and uncles, I've measured out my life against them. And now, the quantity of 1930s junk in a corner of a sale.
There's always a collection of 1930s junk.
Here's a dustman cart the rest away for a small consideration. His samples of merchandise, his ludicrous letters to the local rag, his war maps.
He wasn't Tolstoy.
He was a good man who lacked our advantages, the advantages he gave us. He's a good man who's gone. And he deserved better than a 10 quid cremation and a cut price prayer.
You could do a super piece in them in your next program.
What's wrong with showing a bit of feeling?
Come, nothing. For you, it's a good living. I just think there are more pressing matters. And nostalgia is enervating in Britain almost a disease.
And what are more pressing matters?
Oh, sewage disposal, noise abatement, traffic control, clean air, population, all good for a belly laugh in your TV show.
Oh, you haven't been watching. Half my program last Saturday was given over to the problems of air pollution.
Yeah, then you fly off to New York in a trail of diesel and supersonic bangs.
Well, I'd expect me to go by rowing boat.
That's all too easy for you to do your lot on pollution.
Yeah.
Like the politicians, no one expects any action, like a bit on Dad's funeral. But I don't hear you asking Mum to share your London flat.
She doesn't want to.
Have you asked her?
She wants to be near your children.
Oh.
See, I don't have any, if you remember.
You could have done. You've had 2 wives. You're too busy feeling all over the place to know that it's hard work, marriage. Like sewage disposal. Yeah, I told you I'd give a belly laugh.
Honestly. I mean, Jean, is that how you see your marriage? Sewage disposal?
Well, with young children, sewage disposal certainly plays a part.
Well, certainly. The new person will depend on sewage disposal. Liver, kidneys, bowels. I mean, just as a new university depends on plumbing. But you don't establish a university just so as to have more loos.
Well, as an architect who works more on council flats than colleges, perhaps I'm too preoccupied with plumbing. A lot of people living decently is better than a few witty undergraduates.
Can't you have both?
Exactly, Jean. Both. So I believe in the ordinary and the prosaic.
And people who see themselves as special and can't stop their brains working, gurus and pundits and so on, they create elites, make the rest of us feel excluded, they raise our expectations of life.
But you're a special person.
Most of us would be happier with our lot if it wasn't for public spokesmen with their kinds of abstractions and nostalgia, the free world, east of Suez, the classless society, the golden age, our finest hour. Every time there's a mains water burst, the local rag comes out in a sweat about the old wartime spirit. I think this was Dresden and Nagasaki. Now, how many people actually died in all the raids in the city? 1,200. Every year of peace, 7,000 died on the roads. 4,000 died during the last London smog.
All these numbers, they're meaningless. I can't take in one man's death. By now it'd be a handful of ashes.
There you go again. I didn't even like the man. I mean, Mum was right. You two were very close. I went my own way.
Auntie says I must look in the attics and see if Uncle's left anything I might want as a memento.
Yeah, sure, fine. Carry on.
I must go down. I'll be wondering where we are.
Uncle Will's been asking for you, Jean.
Yes, I know. I'll go down and see.
What are you doing in here, you two boys? This used to be their old bedroom.
Very nice.
Yes, it is a nice room. Your Uncle Lionel's been trying on some more of your father's shoes. We found half a dozen pairs down there in that kitchen cupboard.
Shame to throw them out.
Absolutely.
Oh, he took great care of his boots and shoes, polished them every day, like a sergeant major. These white daps any good to you, Eric?
Ooh, yes. On the beach in summer. Just the job.
Hear it, Maury?
She's busy upstairs.
Hear this, Vera? Young Jean pregnant again.
Think the streets heard the way you shout.
Your daughter, Phyllis.
Yeah, another millstone round in there. I know what.
How many is this? 3?
Yes.
I start to send you that little manual on birth control. A word to the wise by Dr. Morris Stokes, eh? Yes, did Brother Harry know?
No.
He'd have been tickled.
Yes.
Nothing made him happier than ordering nippers about.
I thought Lionel might like this overcoat of Harry's we found under the stairs.
Oh, he loved herringbone. Oh, find anything you want up in the loft, Eric?
Not really, Auntie. It's mostly rubbish. But I'll take these clubs as a souvenir and Warden's helmet for the children.
Attics only collect dirty filth. I used to tell Harry that.
Is Uncle still downstairs? The taxi's due any minute.
He was bellowing about Jean expecting another baby.
He gets a bit excited.
That's nothing to shout about. Bob works hard enough as it is without another mouth to feed.
I'll look through the books in the front room, shall I?
All right.
Perfect.
What the cautious Englishman is wearing on the beach this summer.
You'll want something to put this in, won't you, Lionel?
Case.
Oh, I'm the dust.
That's all.
Oh, not on the
Taking all these things, Uncle.
Yes.
I'll have that then.
We're going to take the coat as well?
Yes, thank you, Dick.
Excuse me.
That's it. There we are then.
Well, you've had a nice day for it, Maury. You'll come and see me soon, I hope.
I shall have to see.
There's only me left now. I'm the last.
Oh, that's nice and cheerful.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Will.
Yeah, goodbye, Uncle.
Oh, are you sure you manage all that, Eric?
I took this Silver Jubilee book as a memento.
Thank you for coming. Give my love to the family. Goodbye.
Right. Now, don't forget, as soon as you strike, you must come down and stay. My sister and I got a bathing up for the season.
Oh, out of the wind?
It's got an electric kettle in it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Right, hold on.
Goodbye. See you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you for coming.
We're late for the kids.
Who's got them?
Pat says you can't control her own three, let alone mine.
Oh, she's always up in the clouds.
See you at home, then.
Mr. Fowler will give us the lift.
Father knew Lloyd George. Lloyd George knew my father. Father knew Lloyd George. George knew my father. Father knew Lloyd George. Lloyd George knew my father. Father knew Lloyd George.
Come on. One. Two. Hit my...
Oh, there. Oh, no.
Promise me now, when you've had enough of these two, you will come and stay with me in town.
When they've had enough of me.
Promise me now.
All right, I'll write you.
Ring me up, then we can fix a date.
But all that expense on the phone?
Reverse the charges.
Then you pay.
Well, it all comes off income tax, love.
All right, then. But mind, until I do come now, look after yourself, won't you? Put a bit of colour back in your cheeks. Now remember, plenty of fresh air and exercise. And a cooked meal at the proper time.
Yes, Mum.
It's all very well, you know, as I said to Vera, in meeting all these famous people, but I think of the face the public doesn't see. Yes, at the end of his programme I think to myself, now he's going home to an empty flat with no one to talk to, no one to tell his troubles to.
You're right, Mum. It's hell out there.
Oh.
Bye.
Take care, dear.
Bless you. Bye, Jean.
Bye, Tim.
Jean, love. You bitch. I love you.
Do you fancy a quick read?
To read, I think. I settled my mind.
Why was it so important to be quiet just now?
Embarrassing for your mother.
Oh, to hell with that. It's our house. I'm not giving that up. Was it all right, Jean?
What?
Treats. Just now.
Oh, smashing.
It's so hard to tell. Just so undemonstrative.
Like what you want?
Oh, you hardly make a sound.
Never have made sounds.
Well, as long as you enjoy yourself.